Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the shop. If you're looking for a simple solution for a basic shore power type connection to your vehicle, let me show you today how I'm going to install the GCP1 from NOCO. The GCP1 is effectively a very short 15 amp extension cord with a weather tight cover on the outside and a flange mount. This allows you to put a hole in your vehicle, install this weather tight so that you don't get any water coming in when it rains or when you drive down the road. And then on the inside, plug in whatever load it is you have, most likely going to be like a battery charger or a float charger on the inside to allow you to have a weather tight connection to incoming power on the outside. Now again, it is worth noting that this is a 15 amp cord, so you're probably not going to be running air conditioning or large loads, but for small things, as I said, like battery chargers, this is perfect. For my application this time around, I basically have a NOCO Genius float charger mounted to the frame rail of the Fuso, and the cord end just kind of hangs out. So when I need it, I plug it in like so, and everything kind of hangs in place. What I would like to do is install the Genius inlet on the front of the bed so that the wiring side of the charger and the inlet is all permanently and basically rigidly mounted so it's not flopping around, getting dirty. And when I need it, this cord will come along here and plug into the front. So the first step will be locating where I want the plug to be on the front. My cord is going to come in here, which is in between the cab tilt handle and the computer. So I want to come in somewhere in this area here. That also works for the size of the inlet, nice and clear of everything. So I'm just going to mark right around here for the center of my hole. The next step for me is simply to remove this part, and I just installed this part so I don't have to worry about what's on the other side of it because I know there's nothing there. If you're installing this inlet in a vehicle or a boat, you're definitely going to want to make sure the place you've chosen to locate it is not going to interfere with electrical wires, gas lines, or structural members. So I've chosen this location. I know there's nothing on the other side of it. Just double check before you start drilling holes. You're not drilling in the wrong place. So I've just used the gasket and the sealing cap kind of as a template to double check that the entire area is going to be on the flat surface of this aluminum part. So it should be good to punch in a center hole and then a 2-inch hole saw and drop in the inlet. With a nice clean 2-inch hole, the gasket removed, I'm going to install kind of temporarily. Everything looks right. I'll mark my 3 mounting holes and then I'll drill them. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now obviously if you're installing this in the side of a vehicle or in a boat or somewhere that you want it to be weather tight, more than just the gasket, you're going to want to seal the screw holes and potentially put kind of a ring of silicone or Sikaflex or whatever your favorite sealant is around there. Because the back side of this is open and the front side is open, I'm not worried about any kind of sealant in here. The rubber gasket will be plenty enough. 3 holes drilled, rubber gasket back in place. Inlet slides down. I'm going to line my gasket holes up with the mount holes. One thing I do like to do is swap out the hardware. Most NOCO products, most products in general, just come with mild steel hardware, especially with the fact that I'm going through aluminum. I definitely want to change this out to stainless steel. So I just got to pop these in here, throw some nuts on the back. It should be good to throw this back together on the truck. Now that I've got the inlet installed on the front corner, I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this back onto the truck using 3 of the 5 mounting bolts. The remaining 2 bolts that go here, I'm going to use to secure the wiring after the rest is in place. As I mentioned, I'm using the last 2 mounting bolts to also hold the wiring in place. And you'll notice what I've done is from the inlet, it drops down for a drip loop. So any water that gets on this will run downhill. Any water that gets here will run downhill away from the plug. Same on the other side, wire comes out of the plug, runs down, and then it will run across the bottom of here. So there'll be a drip loop here, run across to the charger. So I just got to tighten up these bolts here, and the install should be complete. If you like what you see and you want one for yourself, take a look in the video description. I have placed a link to where you can get one. This really is a pretty simple install. You're looking at a 2-inch hole and a couple of screws. You should be able to get this done in less than half an hour. Did I mention it's also only about $30 Canadian? So for $30 and 30 minutes of your time, you have a nice clean installation for outside power. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the exchange rate is right now, and I know the plug wouldn't work, but I think you guys down in Australia, you're looking about the same. For those of you south of the Canadian border, you're probably looking about $20, and for $1 a minute, that gets you about 20 minutes to do the install. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. On the front corner, got the inlet mounted. Pop the cover open. Got my outlet lined up, ground on the bottom. Plug it in, down underneath. The light on the charger, blinking away. I think we got that sorted. Nice and tucked in behind the cab, so it's not going to get spray off the road when we're not using it. Out of the way of any of the lights that'll happen on this front corner. I think that really cleans it up. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, maybe consider giving us a thumbs up. If you got a question about anything that I did or why I did it or the products that I used, throw it down in the comment section down below and I'll do what I can to answer it. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. There's lots more to come. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.